Us to discuss DA Davidson's Gil Luria raises price target to 180 from 160, but still has a neutral rating. I guess let's start there, Gil. I mean, you know, the worries are there about search and them losing market share. Didn't see a sign of it with paid clicks up 4%. Why are you still neutral on the stock, given what I would assume you have to agree was a pretty strong quarter?
It was a good quarter, but it was really a reflection of the strength in the markets, right? The digital ad market is very strong. By the way, bodes well for Meta next week. The demand for AI inferencing is growing very fast. That's what drove the cloud business. By the way, very good for Microsoft. Currency was a tailwind. It made all the numbers look better. All these things we knew. The things that we're worried about Google search have not happened yet, right? Safari has not gone away from Google search as the default. ChatGPT, OpenAI, xAI's Grok have not turned on advertising yet. Google still has no competition in search, still has 90% share. That's not going to change until those changes happen. Those are coming, they just still haven't happened yet. And as long as they don't, and as long as we don't know what happens once those changes happen, the narrative around Google will still be cautious. We'll still go quarter by quarter and see when the fall off is going to happen. So that's why we're not ready to say search is out of the woods. Again, advertisers are the ones that pay. They still don't have a choice. When they have a choice, that may change.
Yeah, and consumer habits certainly do seem to be changing. I mean, I think I can speak for myself and so many others and colleagues who, when you go to try and find an answer to something, you may well go to ChatGPT or Perplexity or Grok and the likes. But, you know, back to the stock itself. I mean, search and other revenue up 12%. Google Cloud up 32%, a re-acceleration of revenue growth there. YouTube, and I've talked a lot about this, up 13%. I mean, this company trades at a multiple that wouldn't seem it deserves in terms of how low it is, given these double-digit revenue growth rates, Gil.
Well, that's right. The properties Google owns are so much more than the value of the stock. They have a media company that's better than Netflix. They have self-driving that's better than Tesla. They have a digital ad network that's better than the Trade Desk. They have a cloud business that's one of the best software businesses. All those are being held back by the fact that there's this overhang on search. This is why we argue for a big bang breakup. The only time you're really going to realize the value of all those properties is if they traded by themselves. The search overhang, as we talked about, those catalysts, those negative catalysts are in the future, which is going to keep the stock down. To your point, it's trading at the lowest multiple of any of the mega caps. It's trading at a discount to the market, in spite of the fact that it has all these very valuable properties.
Do you think any of it has to do with the antitrust scrutiny and the fact that we're expecting a decision somewhat soon? Any update there on what you think is going to happen there in the timeline?
Well, that's right. That's the other big overhang on search, is that the DOJ has basically told Google, we will not allow you to continue to have a monopoly as we transition to AI. We just had $1.4 billion of legal expenses in the quarter. That's not a one-time charge. As long as Google takes a belligerent approach towards the DOJ, their legal costs are going to be high. They're going to be limited in what they can do with their search and search-related properties. The court may decide, whatever it decides in August, that'll get appealed. This could get dragged out for years. Remember, Microsoft had a terrible experience in the 90s and early 2000s fighting regulators. The stock was stuck for 15 years as they were trying to fight regulators and missed the market. If Google continues to be belligerent, that will be an additional overhang on the stock.
I also feel, I mean, like, this is an administration that really is prioritizing AI. And if you read that, you know, their roadmap and what they want to do, this whole of government approach, they need our AI champions, you know, the Alphabets, the OpenAIs, the Metas. It would be a weird time to push for breakup or you know, something like that while they're trying to do this and beat China.
Actually, if you spun off DeepMind, it would be incredibly valuable. If you spun off the Google AI business, it would be somewhere in the valuation between OpenAI and Anthropic, maybe $200 billion. That's the way to unleash it. Maybe together with the TPU business. Let's not forget, Google makes the second best chip. We don't talk about it a lot because they only use it internally. But if you unleash that, that would actually help us make more progress as opposed to burying it under search. Let's not forget, more than 3 years ago, Alphabet, Google could have had the first ChatGPT. They put it in the pantry, let OpenAI take the lead, let Microsoft take the lead, and have been catching up ever since. If that was an independent business, they wouldn't have waited. They could have even been no OpenAI to the punch back then. They wouldn't be catching up right now.
All right. We'll keep doing our sum of the parts then, Gil. Leave it there for today. Thank you.